out of 18 maps, but at least they've played it many of times. Let's see if Fate can close it out with a 2-0. Or if ESUBA can really impress us and go the extra mile with a map win of their own and then go towards Overpass.
We will have to see, The question is, will they really show up? The knife is going to be the first indicator. Whoever wins that is going to be off to a nice start on the preferred side, so to speak, and that will probably still be CT. It's still, though, sometimes a bit of a question mark. And oh, look at them, nicely lining up.
Stalemate Mexican standoff, just like we like it. Good knifing again from the side of Fate, and well, they seem to be able to choose what side they want to start on this time around. And, well, I'm curious to see... Oh, wait, actually, ESUBA was doing well. Never mind. I'm just confusing myself. But ESUBA actually able to start on the CT side twice if they do decide to go for that. And I'm curious to see if they will actually do so. If they will be able to then this time actually get that favor for them. Because in last time around on Train, we saw ESUBA start on the CT side. They picked it after winning the knife. Lost 10-5 on the CT side. Eventually brought it back to 16-14, which was decent. Yet just a little bit shy of actually being excellent. As Bloggy's showing that his jumping skills are just a little bit needy of practice, I dare to say.
Just a little bit, right? It's how do I put it? Well, I suppose it's a good thing that maybe in practice that jump doesn't get used that often. The jump from the kind of CT spawn to that B-bomb site. There are, well, I suppose better ways to approach it in most situations.
How good is your movement in Counter-Strike?
Oh.
On a scale from 1 to 10.
Oh dear, do you really want to?
Oh yes, I'm really curious now.
Dear.
Because I've done a lot of B-hop and some KC in the past.
Not really that good, to be quite honest. I'll admit, though, in general...
2.5?
2.5 might also... That might already be overbearing, to be quite honest.
Baby.
Yeah, I know. It's disappointing almost.
And still you like Vertigo, huh?
I do like Vertigo, yes. But that's also because of the wonderful skyline, I like the view.
You feel free as a bird.
Exactly,
You can
free
fly
as a bird.
for a little moment before you actually get killed by the game. But let's get in towards the game as well. Fate actually going to start on that very important and of course maybe even favored CT side. Bloggers for a very big jump around, trying to surprise the players coming in. Still, he will actually take a little bit of damage and really be able to do much against his opponents. That was a very juicy and interesting attempt, especially if you might feel a little bit wary after, well, not doing too well in the warm-up. We do see Levy standing by with his Glock. They're going towards the A side. Is there a significant hold? Well, I do see a player already getting a kill. Zwar eventually being traded out instantly by Luco. Should have probably fallen back a little bit more, and Blocker will be supported by his team. Now coming in, Nicky going low as he will be having a scuffle on towards mid, but Patrick will take the kill on towards Levi, meaning it's now a 4-on-3. Bomb going towards it, A ramp, but they're quite slow. There's still some significant utility on the side of Fate. 2 frag grenades, I believe 2 smokes as well.
Those frag grenades could become a nasty surprise once there's an attempt at the bomb plant. Now positioned, they're kind of being given away, and will be a slight delay. The flash doesn't really seem to hit that much. Now see, case in point, those nades being a nasty surprise, but the plant is down. That does take out Elive, and now it's going to be a 2v4. There is one player with low HP on the Fate side, but right now, nothing's happening just yet. We don't see a defuse kit or anything of the sort. Oh, but look at that. Luco and Bloggers really coming in clutch. Makes it a 1v1, and Hahn doesn't stand much of a chance here. He goes down, low HP really necking him there, and that makes ESUBA to win the first round.
And that was just an insane turnaround from the side of ESUBA. A 4-on-2, I do believe. And still they managed to win it. Just 3 kills coming in just a second almost. Just spraying down and hoping for the best. It worked out, of course, those Glocks with a high fire rate. USP also coming in, I believe, from Levy. And that means we now have a 1-0 lead. ESUBA actually winning the pistol this time around. And, of course, starting on their preferred side, it might actually help them to extend their lead a little bit better.
And let's see if they can actually do that, though. That's the question. I do like seeing those Mac 10s. That's a little bit of money farming, so to speak. Always fun to see. We have a lovely expression for it in Dutch, of course, but that one's a bit difficult to translate.
Do it for me. Try.
That's the problem, like raking in the cash. Yeah, actually,
raking in the cash. Yeah. You see it all on the 40, you bring it in.
Yeah, bring it in.
It's all yours, baby. As we do see a Leaf trying to go for a little bit of mid-pressure. Patrick just trying to play Batman.
Yeah.
And so far,
Looking
no
nice and
real
ominous.
players going towards that B side. And it seems once more that ESUBA wants to go towards A. Molly flying by. Blocker's like, well, whatever, man. Throw the flash. I'll just be ready. But so far, no player actually contesting. And this might actually be a little bit of a giveaway towards the information of Fate. And also having some players on the rotate. Nicky moving with the Deagle might be coming in clutch as he's trying to flank around together with his teammate. And Leaf will try to hold it down with the Mach 10, and he's standing really, really strong. They're waiting, they're expecting something from Fate. Of course, they're being on that force by first kill coming in. The Leaf will get that frag. And now they'll go on towards the A side. First frag there as well. As Bloggers will take down one, but Leaf will eventually fall. It is a 2-on-4 as eventually there will be a refrag coming in. And only Mar is alive in that 1v4. It is a dire situation. A scout to his left and an MP9 in his hand. 4 players trying to hunt him down.
Well, that was a nice frag there from Mar, but it isn't going to change the whole situation, I think. Best he can do is actually hope to just save this, but obviously that is nigh impossible. He is going to get pushed eventually, and before you know it, he's going to get finished off. Now they will come around the corner. Bloggers here jumps up and finishes him off indeed, as predicted. ESUBA with that gets the second round, and Fate so far still struggling on the 0, but you know, looking at the match odds from vi.gg, still heavily favored.
Yeah, ESUBA, of course, only winning 2 rounds at this moment in time. It might be very important rounds later on, but it's just the start of the round. Fate, just having to wait, having to do an eco right now, hoping to then at least deal a little bit of damage and get a good buy in towards the next, and try to at least hinder the movement from ESUBA. Hold them on those 3 rounds, as we do see Blocker with a little bit of an upgrade towards that P250. Mar as well, I do believe. And there's one flashbang on towards Nicky as a little bit of a support player. Once more pressure towards the dead A side. And actually the opening kill coming in. Harn now having an MP9 to work with. And that was very good use from that flashbang. Another frag coming in. And ESUBA, they will have B control, but at what cost?
Or for how long, I think, might also be the right question to ask. Levy does throw something back. Patrick frag there. And now the bomb plant is eventually going down. Levy just continue holding it off, and he does succeed for now. Goes for a triple, make it a 4K. Could actually be an ace here coming in if they grant him that. But Mar is rather further away and might not even bother to try, seeing as well. You know, trying to win a 3v1 is already quite bold, and trying to win it with a, what I believe is a P250 or a Deagle. No, it is a P250, is even completely hopeless.
Well, of course, also you don't want to give your money, or at least the kill bonus, towards those Mach 10s. Luco and Leaf still having those in their hand, as well, Levy was low, looking possibly for a very careful ace. But it will be a 3rd round going to ESUBA nonetheless. At least some damage being dealt by the side of Fate. Now hoping that in the next round they will be able to win it, because of course this will be their bye round. Mar already picking up that M4 as soon as he can, and once more Levy here with that 4K. At least not giving a lot of money towards his team, because well, the AK, it gives you a decent kill bonus with 300 to pop, but 600 from those Mach 10s would have been way better. AWP missing currently from the side of Fate, but then again it's also not really existent on the side of ESUBA.
Exactly, and well, I'd expect it less from ESUBA, especially on a map like Vertigo. Trying to open up with an AWP is incredibly challenging. What opens up a lot better is an AK, and I do believe Bloggers brings that point home with the 2 kills that he gets. Blocker does throw something right back at him, takes him out, goes for the second, but the molly along with Elieve's spray makes it rather difficult for him. The frags are flying to and from though. 2v2 now. Plant is coming in. Mar might have a good nade. That'll land, deal some serious damage. But now it's a bit of a waiting game.
Have a look at the utility. Still a flashbang and I believe a incendiary coming down from Mar. And trying to cover up the corners that they can. A flank will come in from Harn. He's at a very low HP. But Leaf has only got a Mach 10, so that might actually mean some money for him, or at least a good chance. As well, the time it takes, it should have actually known there could have been a flank. Harn will get one, but there will be a refrag coming in from Neo.
No time.
A save already being caught, and welcome to Rook. As Neo
Yes,
will
eventually
then try to fall back. And that means we now have that extra round coming in from ESUBA. No AWP, of course, to be saved. And it will be that 4-0 lead. And Fate will be starting to worry slowly. Of course, still having some money, but, well, I think a pistol armor would suit them best at this moment in time.
That might be the most sensible decision. So far, things are looking very nice for ESUBA. They started off well, and they've been keeping that strong start going. 4 rounds for them, whilst Fate is still, well, kind of messing about on the 0-round mark. A very well-known smoke here, popping up once again, falling down towards the A-bomb site next to the ramp.
Vico, of course, just biding his time. Still 1 Mach 10 on towards the side of ESUBA, and it still gets a kill, of course, with a lack of head armor coming in from the side of Fate. It's easier to get those frags in as well. Leffy and the rest of his team will now have mid control as Nicky is standing by. Will at least smoke off the ramp, at least the staircase, to alleviate some pressure. And well, with a leave in the match, that might be a very smart thing to do.
Wow.
Getting in there, baby, as there will be a push with that deagle from Nicky, trying to get a frag, and he will get the opener on towards the lead for himself. Will go for a second good tag on towards Levy, but it won't be enough. As one of his teammates dies, it will be a push towards the A side. Only Harn alive in a 1v4. He's still sending sandbags, and, well, they'll be seeing him. They'll be trying to clear him out. Still 2 kills coming in, and some clean taps. And that's a decent amount of damage for Fate on their pistol armor. And I'm curious to see if they will now, on their next buy round, finally be able to win a round, because ESUBA is currently walking away with it.
Yes, and although it might have been a decent bit of damage at the end of the day, that doesn't win them the round. Here you can see it again. On just, yeah, that's just a lovely bunch of taps, you know. There's quite satisfying to see that pass by. But yeah, point being, okay, damage is done, so now they'll have to make use of that. They'll have to continue and press down on ESUBA. If they can get this round win, they should be able to slowly but surely ruin their economy, their reserves, and with that, start their own little winning streak. But of course, that being the thing they have to do doesn't mean that it's the thing that they will do. After all, saying it is quite easy to do, but actually doing it is a completely different thing.
Patrick has some players standing close by to follow this actually with the first frag, but it will be doubly returned upon by the side of Fate. Good trades, at least, but we do see Patrick being low, so that is maybe a sign of bad things to come. Blocker trying to contest around mid. There is a player standing by there from ESUBA, but so far they're waiting. The bomb will actually go towards the A side. Neo already around there, hoping to get an opening frag with his case hardened AK. And of course, he will try to prove his case that he's one of the best players on this lineup. Moving in. Volleys have been expended, but he will fall himself. There will be a second peek from, of course, that bomb carrier. Mar now throwing in a smoke and a flashbang as well. 40 seconds left, but look at that. It's going to be Harn to fall, and Leffy has actually opened up a way towards the B side, but still, they decide to go for A, and, well, it's going to be very hard, but look at the HP from the side of Fate. Every player just 1 bullet away, but the problem is, there won't be a bullet fired by the side of ESUBA at the end of that round. Weapons to be upgraded, waiting for the fire, because, well, if everyone would just run in, it would have a very sad moment.
Yeah, that would be a very dramatic
big summit.
That would be a very dramatic loss for Fate there, you know, by, well, basically 3 of the players decided, you know what, we're not going to bother anymore. We're just going to go straight into the molly and give ESUBA the round. Anyhow,
1G's in the chat, baby.
Yeah. Anyhow, Fate does get this round now, and they actually do make it out alive with 3 players. Good for their own reserves, and now the challenge for them, the next point of focus, is getting a few more round wins in and making sure that ESUBA, well, their economy is completely destroyed.
Well, AWP still in the hands of Bloggis, or actually still. I think it's one of the first times we actually see him run it on that D side. And I would have expected him to pick it up a little bit sooner. Nicky now going in, as the problem is that Harn has fallen, and Nicky, you're burning up, baby. And, well, I'm hoping that he will fall back safely, as we do see Blocker getting now 1 kill in return with that recovered AWP from his teammate. But the problem is, Luco goes on. He will take down Patrick. That is a very big amount of pressure towards that B side. They will have to rotate on the side of Fate. And they've won 1 round. They seem to maybe lose yet another, as now Leffy takes down Nicky as well. And it seems like the assist is going towards Mars, so a lot of team damage actually being dealt. So I believe that the player was actually standing into one of his teammates' mollies at that yellow tarp. And it seems not to be the smartest thing to do, as we do see the push coming towards that B side. Bomb will be dropped by Blocker, goes for a second on towards Leffy, but he's standing by and gets a clean frag, meaning that Mar most likely will go for that save, hoping to maybe get an exit frag for himself.
Bomb plant now finally going down in the meantime, and indeed Mar, best thing he can hope for is an exit frag here or there, but not really much more. Fate so far performing quite badly on this map, Vertigo. Really though, I do have to say, like, whilst we did sort of anticipate that ESUBA would be performing better on here, I think in the long run, or in the grand scheme of things, both of us might have seen a 2-0 happening here. Now though, that is starting to look less and less likely by the second. Now, especially as ESUBA gets the 6th round in, and Fate just keeps, well, kind of faffing about around that 1 round mark.
Well, not Mark, will be able to survive, luckily, with that AK. Still some utility in the defuse kit as well, and they do have some money on the side of Fate. Not all that much, but I think they could still throw in a decent-ish buy. Maybe one player on either an SMG or a pistol. I would recommend them to put on the pressure, and I think they will use a tactical pause to talk about things and see how they will be able to recover from this. ESUBA seemingly very strong, but of course this is their map pick as well, and that would mean that they should be able to at least extend their lead for now, starting on their preferred side, winning the knife, and then possibly go on to win this map. Then we go to Overpass. And then I really have no clue who will win.
It'll be, well, very much up in the air. The statistics are the same, of course. It is 50% for both teams. The difference being that Fate has played Overpass 26 times. ESUBA has played Overpass even, maybe with overtimes, I don't know about that, 4 times. Now, you don't have to be a mathematical whiz kid to know that 26 is more than 6 times more than 4.
What?
Yes, I know, right? Quick maths.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, it's 6.5 times more. Boom.
Really?
Would you look at that? I know.
Did you have that calculator in your hand? There's a player disconnected from the side of Fate, so rather than it being a tactical, I believe it's a technical from their end, hoping that the player will reconnect in due time. So far, it seems like ESUBA is stronger. Is it due to Fate not really having that economy most of the time? Or is it just the sheer pressure from the T side being able to contest every side all by their lonesome?
I think you know, the Fate not having that economy most of the time is more of a result, not so much a cause. It is due to the fact that the T side from ESUBA is just, well, too strong it seems, and Fate can't really handle it all that well. And then as a result, you just get ESUBA winning round after round, where they can really manage to get onto the site rather quickly. They get the right open frags to actually get further on there. And Fate is just kind of left like standing there, well, that's kind of difficult. What will we do now? And they just, as a result, their economy is pretty terrible, obviously. But as I said, it's a result. It's not the cause. And things aren't really looking, you know, it probably will still stay pretty bad until ESUBA makes enough mistakes, I guess, for Fate to utilize, or until Fate actually, you know, picks themselves up by their bootstraps and starts winning a few rounds.
Well, Blocker is just standing by. We see some pistols being exchanged on the side of Fate. Possibly a deagle to be thrown out. And we're waiting for the last player to join in. Now also Bar giving another pistol. I believe that is to Blocker, who looked a little bit jealous as to his teammate getting one of those juicy pistols in. That might actually indicate that there would be an eco round to come in from the side of Fate as well. And, well, that would at least hinder them trying to stop ESUBA. Unless if we just see what we've seen before. Eco party all the way.
Eco parties, you know, and then you get the thing that you were talking about yesterday, that you get the chat message of
Were you also on an eco?
Were you also on eco? Were you eco too? And who knows? I think that these two teams don't do that to each other. To be fair, I think from what we've heard, if they prac against each other, then they're probably pretty good friends, I assume. And well, it's just a bit of a shame, of course, that. Oh, here we go. We've got the player back, and we're gonna guess who's back.
Back again.
But anyway,
I didn't know who actually disconnected, so we can't say his name, but he'll be ready to go, and I believe...
I'm going to go with Nicky.
Yeah, I think so too. He's only on one frag, so he's not really being too great, so I would disconnect for a little moment as well.
Just take a moment to get,
at least have a little bit of time to do some push-ups, get the blood flowing, and try to get those frags in the following round. He'll have a Deagle and armor, and a lot of utility together with his team, and there will be some utility going towards the A-ramp, and look at the damage being dealt towards the side of ESUBA. They were contemplating on throwing back one of their own nades, as it's going to be a nade to fly on towards Mar. He has an AK, he will be tagged up. So far, of course, he still be alive. This blocker is trying to maneuver himself into a favorable position. Another nade flies in. And there's two players catching one after another. It's going to be Leaf and Levy. It seems to be all in their name, as now Bloggers has the first frag on towards one of those Fate players. The second one could come in, is going to be harmed with a refrag on towards Neo. AK to be picked up, and that means they're really set and ready to possibly bring a fight in towards ESUBA. Slowly going for that A-take. Block is now going down as well. That's a great headshot to come in from Mar. Trying to fall back towards the CT angle, but the problem is now Harn has fallen. Another kill will come in on towards Blocker, but Mar with 2, make it 3, make it 4 as well. It's going to be Fate winning on the back of the player that saved an AK in the previous round. And now we'll bring an AWP to Harn at this moment in time, hoping that they can at least get a third one in and possibly even more.
And that really highlights how important it is sometimes to save. Speaking of highlights, here you see the replay once again. Mar with the lovely 4K in the end. Very well played by him. And Fate, through that wonderful spray down, those wonderful frags, finally getting their second round. Who knows, this could be the start of something great. ESUBA, of course, right now not on the best of buys. Upgraded pistols or a pistol armor, you could say, and a little bit of utility where possible. And that's what they're going to have to work with. And that's what they're going to have to hope with, that they might get onto his site. It's actually a almost full Deagle loadout now that I look at it. Only Bloggis kind of lagged behind.
Well, we do see Levy now getting a beautiful and maybe also disgusting 1-dig on towards Blocker, meaning the opening kill is once more in favor of ESUBA. The problem is it will be responded by that AWP, not in the hands of Harn actually, but on towards Patrick. As Nicky will also get a 1v1. I would have preferred ESUBA to group up after that initial frag and try to do some great stuff together rather than alone, because, well, so far we do see ESUBA being a stronger team playing together, and this round is just a little bit of a waste.
Just a little, but it is what it is. They'll have to make it work. Patrick does keep holding off that side. Vlog is taken down as well. Neo now pushes through. Molly doesn't damage him too much, and he gets, well, shot off the bomb site and even the entire construction building. Nicky with a lovely double kill to finish things off. Fate now in the third round, and who knows? This is starting to look like they might be making a bit of a comeback, but they just have to keep it up now. They have to keep going. They have to show ESUBA that now they aren't going to get any more rounds and that they're going to make it a, well, lovely comeback and at least get to that equalizer. We do seem to have, well, I dare say it might be a tactical this time round. Would make sense if it was called by ESUBA, I believe. You'd agree with me there?
Yeah, but like Nicky might have actually fixed his problems, because he's now actually starting to frag, and a great double kill at the end of the round and one prior already as well. And I'm hoping for Fate that at least they'll all be together on this comeback, all get their kills in, because they really need to start punishing ESUBA if they want to keep it going. ESUBA still seemingly very strong this round on the pistol, had a clean opening headshot with the Deagle, but the moment after they just, well, went a little bit two ways, going one by one, and eventually then trying to go for that 2v5 or 2v4 situation, rather running through the molly as well. That's not really the way to go. Still, it seems like Fate is in favor also on those Vi.GG odds. And that's not really a surprise if you look at ESUBA's track record compared to that of Fate. But ESUBA so far really surprising, really strong. And I'm starting to become a fan.
I think you say look at ESUBA's track record, and I think the point being that they don't really have a track record. I think
Indeed.
that's kind of the issue there. Also, I said tactical timeout, but I do believe this is technical at this point. Doesn't matter that much at the end of the day. Fate, of course, now they started off solid, and I think their main focus now is that they keep ESUBA's economy nice and low, that they don't grant them too many more challenges.
Well, we now also understand why Patrick actually picked up that AWP rather than Harn. Usually he's been the dedicated operator for his team, but his mouse has stopped working.
Oh.
That's the weird thing. During these competitions, you hear hardware quitting left, right, and center, and I've never really had those kind of issues, and I'm not really sure if normal players just like yourself would have had that before.
I believe I do have this one really annoying thing with my mouse at home, and I've been kind of lazy and I haven't gotten a replacement yet, where the middle mouse button will sometimes just not work. It's pretty annoying, but it's not really a CSGO problem, That's more of a thing.
Unless if you just can't scroll at all. Because
no,
of course you need to be able to jump.
It can still scroll, but it's just annoying when you're browsing the internet and you're looking through web pages and you just don't want to scroll the whole time. You actually
or if you even have the bump bound to that scroll wheel button as well.
Yeah.
Then you might be a little bit in trouble, but well, I think so far you're holding up all right.
Yeah.
You're surviving, and hopefully
Harn
will have a replacement. Usually with these kind of dedicated players already in towards the scene for a long, long time, they will have one or more mice lying around just to be as a replacement. Not really the ones they want to play on. Otherwise, of course, that would have still been their daily driver. But at least they will have something to fall back on. And otherwise, just go to your dad's home office and try to steal his, crazy office mouse with usually around 2,000, 2,500 DPI and a polling rate, which I can't even imagine.
That is so dreadful to think of. I don't know what DPI do you rock?
400.
Yeah, and a half?
What?
400 and then 0.5 in the CSGO.
No, it's 1.5.
Oh,
if I would have 0.5, I think I could never turn again. I would have my right arm would be huge.
Oh wait, no, actually that's true. I was unsure, but I'm actually on 800 and 0.5, so it comes down to 400.
You're trying to think, we're already dressed the same. We'll also use relatively the same sensitivity.
Hey now.
It's getting a little bit scary, RJ.
Maybe it's a good thing we have separate hotel rooms, right?
Oh, definitely, because otherwise I'd be using your comb and you'll be using mine because you think it's the same. Meanwhile, we see 2 kills already coming in from ESUBA, starting off really strong, making a triple already. It's going to be Neo low. Nicky hoping to force the issue by getting a kill in return, but the problem is he will fall as well. 2 players low on the side of ESUBA, but I think Blocker will try to go for a save. The problem is there was a player standing by Neo with a low HP, but still with the frag. And a 7th round for ESUBA, turning it all around quite quickly as well, as they just came out of a technical issue from one of their opponents.
It could be that now this is actually kind of the chance for Fate shattered at coming back a little bit, ESUBA now off to a good start once again, and Fate having to, although they will manage buy-wise, it is still a bit of a mental thing as well, right? They were working on a little bit of a comeback, but now they've already been stopped in their tracks once again. It's all going to depend on who gets the opening picks, who gets to hold off their sights well enough and make sure that, they at least still stand a chance, that they can somewhat end out this first half with a decent scoreline and not something, in the ballpark of 3-12 or something.
ESUBA so far winning the aim duels. And it seems like Fate is just falling apart one by one every time, just being outpeaked. And it seems like ESUBA is just trying to spread out as if it were a default. Now another fight being choked big time there by Blocker. Neo also with the follow-up getting 2 as well. It seems like Fate just out of this match at this moment in time. And I'm wondering if they eventually will come back. Patrick now also being fired up. We'll take that AWP and we'll try to save it possibly, but the problem is there's already some players around the mid area trying to deny his falling back. And of course his attempt to take that weapon with him. Leffy standing by for his kill of this round. Beautiful one tap, but that will be a triple for himself. and an 8th round for ESUBA, and they are just so incredibly strong, but mainly so incredibly quick into these rounds.
And that is, I think, the main important part. That's what's getting them these rounds now as well, although it kind of varies. You know, sometimes it's Fate that fall back a little bit, and sometimes it's ESUBA that really quickly can get the rounds, but they don't always go for the, you know, the quick rushes or the massive speed or anything. I feel like they kind of strike the fine balance in between.
Well, we do see a tactical timeout this time, truly, to come out.
An actual one.
And I'm curious to see if Fate will most likely talk about all kinds of things going wrong. Players not covering the angles, utility not being put in towards the right positions, and, well, even their characters in game seem to be out of breath because they're just given a run for their money. As, well, they'll be having to go on towards an eco this time. It seems like ESUBA will just be able to extend the lead further and further, and possibly go to double digits at the end of this first half. Of course, they decided and were able to choose to start on this T side as well, so that, of course, will give them a little bit of an advantage now. And maybe Fate can do the same on their T side, but so far, their aim duels have just been going a little bit south time and time again. Only Mar really trying to win those, and I'm a little bit scared for him.
Oh dear, are you afraid?
I'm worried.
Well, I think it's understandable right now to be afraid if you're in Fate's position. Fate doesn't seem to be treating them kindly, but I think it's also not really down to Fate, it's more down to them playing well enough. We'll see if it works this time round. They try, but Levy, along with his teammate Eliv, hold off well. Everyone really getting a frag here or there, but in the end the result being quite clear. The bomb site being in the hands of ESUBA, Nikki as well being, well, flushed out by the molly. And now you can see that being refreshed. It might all come down to Mar if he can score some sick 1-digs, but it doesn't quite look like it because Levy finds him and immediately eliminates him.
Destroyed, as there's only one more player. Nikki, of course, having one kill, the only kill for the side of Fate, and then losing his life. ESUBA doing a really good job, 9-3 so far, and they could actually make it into double digits right here. There will be a buy from the CT side, but will this buy actually work? Because so far ESUBA has just been rushing in the past few rounds. They've actually won, and I'm scared that another rush would actually mean the demise of Fate. Double digits, then maybe even 2 more rounds, and a 12-3, I think that's really insurmountable.
Absolutely, that would be a very, very nasty start for Fate. And almost, yeah, insurmountable is actually the right word to use, something that they cannot overcome. We'll see what they make out of it. They have a chance to at least try and get, you know, a few more rounds in now. They've got the somewhat decent weaponry for it. The only thing worrying is that defuse kit, the only one being available for Nikki. But we'll have to see how it goes. It all depends on which site ESUBA tries to go for and where Fate might have to crack up their defense.
It is a pillar on towards mid. In the Benelux, we used to have the AT gaming tower. Usually an Inferno mid just standing by, hoping that the player will eventually come by. Of course, smoke's being used, but this time it's going to be Fate just standing here, hoping that the players will indeed chime in, and they will. There'll be 2 coming. If you kill the player on the bottom, you usually get a frag, but it's going to be Blocker and Nikki both getting 1 frag in. A 5-3 damage being dealt. And Luco is now hoping to find something in return if a player would come in a little bit more passively on towards that B side. But Patrick is just the sole member actually relatively close towards the approach from ESUBA. Had just not being spotted out as he now moves behind this very, very large column, which is, well, quite strong as it is metal.
Oh, really now?
Yeah.
I never would have thought. Metal being strong? Next thing you're going to tell me that,
well,
you know...
gold and silver aren't as strong as steel, and you see Patrick now getting 2 kills before going down. Neo making some things work, but he needs to get an ace clutch to make this work for his team at all. He will be taken out by Blocker as well, and that means Fate finally with a round. And ESUBA, well, I wouldn't say struggling. They're still quite comfortably in the lead. But I'd be happy if they just get at least 1 more round, because then you have some room to work. You'll at least have some room to breathe. And I think they deserve that after their already very commanding and strong first half.
And it's a shame, of course, for Fate to potentially have to end out this first half with such a large such a large deficit, such a large disadvantage. But maybe, just maybe, once they do go to that T side, that might be better for them. This does seem to be going somewhat better now as Han there gets the frag. Good start for Fate once again, and maybe they can carry this on. Bring this to the next round and at least try and look at a somewhat positive ending of this first half.
Yeah, they're bringing in the kills, and luckily Harness Mouse has started working once more. We do see that push coming in. At least they're trying to do something on the ESUBA side together, with Harn holding down that yellow tarp. So far, not really seeming as if any of the players of ESUBA might be bigger, but then the AWP of Neo will go there. Usually see Bloggis, but he's already fallen a little bit earlier on. And will Harn get a second frag, or will he fall relatively soon? The execute is here. The players are also here from the side of Fate. Almost a full rotate, and the last player to chime in as well now as the bomb has been dropped. And we're going to see another spray to come in. Blocker will be supported by Marv. Throws in his nade. Only alive, but not for long, as he will fall to Harn as well. 5-9. And ESUBA, they've got one more shot at double digits. But at least they have some money on some of their members to make this work. And I think it will be a very hard-fought battle.
Of course, this being the last round of the first half, the money is all going to be blown through because it does no longer matter where it might go. That is not carried over to the second half. And now, as you can see, a full AK loadout on the ESUBA lads. Whereas on Fate, we see mostly stolen AKs, an AWP, and 2 M4s.
Well, those AKs are maybe also setting up towards that B side, as we do see them going for that boost right here behind that little bit of scaffolding, trying to at least get a angle unexpected by the side of Fate. Someone really decided which one will be boosted. And indeed, it will be Patrick standing by on the side once more. Will he have support? Yes, indeed. Blocker also on towards mid. Could actually come in soon, as Nicky is once more standing in a little bit of a tower angle with himself. Patrick with the first frag takes down Luco. And now we see a little bit of a slowdown from ESUBA. You'd hope to have them do a proper execute soon. Leffy is coming in. Mars still standing by. They won't know he'll be here until it is too late, you'd say, but Alif spots the barrel, spots the player, gets the headshot, and now we have a 4-on-3. The bomb to be planted, the nades now to come in from either party, and they will deal a lot of damage. Nicky going low. Leffy also not the healthiest player in the world. He's going to be with a molly as well. Very possible for the side of ESUBA to get those double digits.
We'll see now. It's getting close. Health is low. Frags are flying out and about, but it's 2v3 now. And there is an attempt even at a wall bang. Well, no, at a spray down through the smoke. But Bloggis now, nasty position. Eventually he gets tagged, but he gets the frag on Han. And Eli finishes it off. The first half ends with double digits for ESUBA, who are off to a fantastic start, especially compared to the last map, whereas actually Fate who ended it with a 10-5. Now it's clearly been turned around, and who knows what that might bode for the second half. Could just as easily be that ESUBA prefers the CT side, or that lies them even better. But maybe, just maybe, Fate will really show themselves on the T side.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried here for Fate, as so far they haven't really been too strong. Blocker doing some great jobs, but, well, their frags just a little bit lacking. Their performance so far, also utility-wise, not really up to par from what I would have expected. And so far, of course, their vertigo performance in recent times hasn't been too great either, so this might just be a common problem for them. Well, at least they'll try again on the T side. Should be favored if you look at what ESUBA just put down. But will it be? That is the question. First, a pistol round. If ESUBA wins this one as well, I think it's going to be very hard and pretty much unwinnable for the side of Fate.
What we call a given. We'll see now. Looks like Fate has decided that mid will be their place today. And then it only comes down to Levy to actually hold it off from mid on out. He looks and he peeks. He gets the first lovely one tap. Blocker gets down, or well, gets taken down. And Levy continues, does end up getting a second. Then Patrick pushes him, takes him out, and now further onto the site. Patrick
There's a player from the staircase. He will actually go for a fight with a player dropping down, but How is there not a kill just yet? Mar and Patrick and even Harn will all get a kill as there is only one more player left standing on the side of ESUBA. And Fate still has a chance, but I was so confused as there was a player jumping down there. We saw another player from the X-Ray just standing by, and that took about 20 years for the kill to come in. Eventually it was there. 10-5 ESUBA now with a chance, of course, with a force buy to bring it back, but at least they lost that pistol, and once more the pistols have been split equally between the teams. It seems like an opposite mirror from what we've seen just before.
An opposite mirror.
That's a little bit of double.
Okay.
Trying to mess you up, you know.
Yeah, I get it. Nice and tricky, you know. That's. I think I understand what you mean, though. I think I get your point. But anyhow, maybe, just maybe, you know, mirror on the wall, who is the most likely to win of them all? I say Fate maybe can come back to this, but right now I'm still looking towards ESUBA to be the potential Vertigo winners.
Well, we do see a Leaf standing by with an off angle and that Deagle in hand. Blocker deciding against it to go for the peak. But they're already seeing some time to take down. It's going to be, of course, an AK, a Galil, and a lot of Mech-10s to face up against this force buy. But then we also have to admit that ESUBA does have a lot of head armor. So it's going to be scary for those Mech-10s when they do get close, especially with the CC in towards the hands of Bloggis, who's done great, but will now fall.
Nades.
Those are some great nades indeed from the side of Fate. Now counter util will be thrown down, but the smokes as well close towards the side of Leaf is standing by to possibly go for a peek. The moment they start to go for the plant, and now they do, now he should go for a move, but so far he's waiting. As a nade does fly in, Nicky has been tagged up, but well, he's still alive. That means we now see ESUBA all stacked up here and the CT area moving closer towards the side. And that smoke, I'm not really sure if that actually helps him, because from a longer range, that angle would really prefer to have Fate get those frags. Mar, Patrick, both getting a frag, but there will be a return from Levy, who will eventually go down together with his teammate Neo. It's Fate with once more a round. ESUBA now on towards the eco, something they haven't really been too accustomed with on that first half.
Who knows, maybe it was just the T sign that Fate really needed to show up. Maybe that was just what they needed to, you know, prove themselves. They just have to get into the swing of things, get a few more rounds in, start to work towards that equalizer, and then perhaps, if that equalizer is, you know, achieved from there on out, they could work towards something greater. Still, though, there is also a very real chance, I believe, that ESUBA just starts to come back after one or two more rounds and will clearly punish them. Tell them or show them who's boss.
Oh, it's going to be Blocker with a great spray down, getting to Nicky as well. And that's just a cleanup coming down aisle 2. Fate is just raking in the cash. We're just going to throw it in there. It's going to be our thing now, as it's going to be Levy with still a Deagle in hand, hoping to get a kill in return. Seeing the dead bodies of his teammates, and Nicky of course, still full HP, now with a triple kill. $1,800 made for himself. And an 8th round as well for Fate, making it easier. Well, maybe not easier, but more doable to bring this round back against ESUBA. Once more, those spray downs to come in. Blocker having a very good lineup, and then, well, Nicky just coming in when he needs to. They played together, even though Blocker was rather low. At least they did a good job there. It's going to be ESUBA with 10 frags, 10 rounds at this moment in time. And, well, they do have that AWP on towards Bloggis, but so far no opening kill. He's gone a little bit aggressive, then fallen back. No armor for himself. So I'm curious to see if there will be any nades flying towards his position, and if it would net a kill as well in favor of Fate, with Levy now moving in with that M4.
Levy has a solid chance to put down a good hold on mid here, and that's what he's going to have to do. He goes in the engagement, gets the first frag, but he gets quite immediately refragged by Blocker. Blocker also, of course, well, along with the rest of this team, could kind of see this as a bonus round of some sort, you know? A round where they'll just use the weapons from the previous one, or the first 2 rounds, I should say, and they'll make the best out of it. Oh, that was a lovely headshot by Blocker. Well done by him. Now they might be able to actually push it onto the A-bomb site.
Oh, and there's a player now towards the scouting. Harn will get the frag on towards Neo. And that was actually a very pivotal player that could still block either a B take, as Leaf is currently standing on towards A. There's still also a player on towards B. They're completely split, and the barrel will be spotted out by Blocker. He's going for yet another frag, and so he will get another for himself, or at least you'd say that, but the problem is that Patrick is going to steal it. Bloggers will have that AWP, no armor, but will try to survive, but Harn is actually rather close. And the moment that there will be the save from that AWP around this area, he could actually get the frag. He's not committing, because the rest of his team is also trying to hunt it down, and Bloggers actually smoking himself up will mean that he will fall as well. And there will be a swap towards that AWP, and it seems like Harn was able to find the AK thrown out by his teammate. 9-10. Fate coming in closer and closer, possibly going for the equalizer against an eco from ESUBA to come now.
And that would be, of course, marvelous for Fate that they can throw in such a massive turnaround, you know, that now they can show that whilst ESUBA had a very respectable streak going, that time is over now. And they're going to make the best of it and really, well, just show ESUBA who's boss. It can still go multiple ways, though. Whilst this round might indeed be a bit of a given, looking at that weaponry, you know, the CZs, the Deagles, it's not really the best. I think there are better weapons to be working with. And as we can see, you've got players like Patrick and Mar that are just hunting around, that are getting the frags. And as such, this one could be quickly written off. But the question is, in the next round, if ESUBA is going to buy, which they most logically will, what is going to be their course of action? What are they going to have to do differently? What do you think they have to do differently to actually maybe stand a chance against the Fate machine?
ESUBA really needs to go more aggressive, especially with the AWP of Bloggers. They need to get an opening kill for themselves to give themselves a little bit of room. Mid, however, not really that contestable, because we've seen a lot of players from the side of Fate trying to contest it, as now Luko gets 2 kills, will be traded out. At least some damage being dealt, but looking at the economy from Fate, multiple players over $10,000 for themselves. I don't think they'll be too phased by this. Of course, there will now be a buy from ESUBA. Bloggers with a good spawn towards the A side. And I'm hoping he'll go really aggressive towards that ramp, trying to peek in. Hopefully getting an opening kill for his team, because, well, they've now lost the lead they've had for such a long time. And this could actually be Fate walking, or actually running, possibly, by the... well, at least FaZe is going right now away with this match.
Well, smoke on a ramp here does a solid job. Let's see if it's also going to be a bit of a slower game, perhaps, by Fate. It's also a very real chance, I believe. Not wanting to take too much risk now. I think their prime directive is making sure that they can build up the rounds that they have. A bit of a bad start for them, though. Levy even gets the first frag. There is a bit of a throwback from Harn. He can take out Bloggers.
I would have expected a little bit more from the nade from Luko, but unfortunately for him, he didn't do any damage with it. Will be Nicky with a frag, and Leave will be refragged. However, still the player lead in favor of Fate. And that is actually interesting, looking at how they didn't actually get that opening kill. And I believe some ESUBA fans will be worried looking at this situation at this moment in time. It's Levy being low, but luckily Nicky as well. Seems to be a waiting game coming out from Fate, hoping ESUBA will try to do something to equalize the score. But, well, as we've seen many of times, that is usually the risky thing to do, which doesn't really pay out. We do see the AWP, however, now being swapped over towards Nicky to give him a better fighting chance. And, of course, a better room in the team, as now Levy is still standing by. Will he get the kill? He needs to get that headshot, and he will get one. No, it's going to be Mar with the frag. Neo with the spray. Get one in return. Now it will be a 1v1, nice, as Mar will be open for that spray through the smoke. And Neo is standing by. 14 seconds left. Harn has to either peek or go for the plant, but he's expecting Neo to go for the push, but he's still not really doing anything. There will be a plant fake. There will be a spray being put down. Another plant to be faked. And Harn, you're running out of time. It's already gone. It's going to be Neo with the last frag as well. That means no income for Harn himself. And the lead once more going back in the favor of ESUBA. And the underdog team is doing what they can to stay in this map. But still, Harn not getting any money. 11,400 for himself, so he will be able to rebuy. But with that AWP, it is a hefty investment, meaning their reserves are now really taking a beating.
And it's those reserves that are some of the most important things, especially for the longevity of your streak, you know. In this case, Fate has kind of been stopped in its tracks And you see that Vloggis, that's a very aggressive position, and you are going to get punished for that by the looks of things. Levy, in the meantime, though, does actually take out Blocker. And that makes it 4v4. Equal footing, so to speak, equal rounds. There's an engagement there between Nicky and Levy. But in the end, Nicky does take the upper hand. HP is low on some of the Fate players, though. And slowly but surely, that looks to be equalized out a little bit, as there are some shots thrown at mid. Neo here, further back on the site. Got on those shots from the player walking up to the stairs, trying to figure out, you know, is it worth it? Is there something to get? That was a lovely shot.
Luco will get one in return, however, on towards Nicky. It's a 3-on-2 situation. Patrick is moving up with the AK. And is Luco now still with the MP9, trying to get a second, and again, his timing might be right, but this time he will be expected. Patrick dealing damage, but losing his life just after getting a kill himself. Of course, the bomb already rotating towards that A side, trying to go for a plant soon. Will, of course, be Harn, a supporty op player, it seems. And the pre-fire comes in from Luco. Now they know where he will be. On top of the scaffolding in CT, as he does move through, he will go down. And we once more will have an equal score, but I'm curious to see the economy on towards the ESUBA side. It isn't too great, I dare to say. So maybe we'll see a pistol armor, because forcing against the economy of Fate doesn't really bode too well, because they're still so strong. Buy-wise, if they lose a round, they can just buy again. Of course, will be helped if they do get that bomb plant. And indeed, we will see that pistol, sometimes armor, for the side of ESUBA. And there's even a Mac 10 for Nicky to possibly punish it as well.
Incredibly luxurious. Unbelievable.
Indeed, it's going to be Nicky moving up with, well, I do have to say, not really the most beautiful Mac 10 skin in the world, but it's going to be Livy again on this mid area, again trying to play it out to perfection, but the nades and the mollies, everything will come in. He will not be phased, however, eventually he will send in the fire, and before he knows it, before the flashbang wears off, he will be down. Mid pressure completely taken by the side of Fate, trying to wrap around towards the B side. Wow. Very good execution style from Harn as well. Aggressive off player with P250. And now a 5-2-3 situation with some shots going the way of the CT spawn. Patrick with a follow-up, only 2 more remaining. And Patrick dealing a chunk of damage on towards Luco as well. That means Mac 10 time. 1 more kill will seal the deal. And the damage has been done on towards Bloggers as well, dealing some damage with the nade, but falling himself. 1200, or actually 1800 for Nicky with those kills. As he now takes the lead once more for Fate, and they're coming back slowly but steadily, having to face once more a buy round from the side of ESUBA. And Bloggers last time around went really aggressive with the AWP, but there was no support, no player that actually came close to give some supporting fire. And well, I hope to see them play a little bit more as a team this time around, because otherwise I do feel that Fate is in favor.
ESUBA, yeah, they are showing that maybe sometimes the communication is a little bit lackluster. The execute and the strategies aren't really on point. They don't seem to be matched with each other. They don't seem to be fine-tuned for each other. And that just makes things more and more difficult for them as a team. Luco here, good hold though. Prevents an A ramp advance. That nade reveals some good... Never mind. It seems to not really hit where it should have. The plays from Fate were far enough back, so that nade doesn't do as much as you might have thought it would. Still though, Fate 1 man down, 1 man less, and ESUBA has that advantage. So it's all going to come down to, for example, well, a player like Luco over there, even for him to at least get, you know, or well, stay alive and make sure that he proves his worth for ESUBA.
Well, Harn now gets a kill in return on towards Luco. Also, Blog is going down. The AWP being dropped for the side of ESUBA. Pressure on towards, of course, once more that A side. The bomb will soon come in as there's only 3 players remaining on that CT side. Good tag as well through the smoke on towards Levy. And here will be the plant. Are there nades? Well, there's only 1, and that's not enough to get the planter to stop. But there is a kill coming in from a leave. That will mean it's a 3-on-3. The LWP being picked up at the yellow tarp. And let's see how these positions will work out. There will be some nades thrown towards the side of Fate, but everything currently expanded. Not really gaining a lot, as now Harn and Nicky both with a kill. Almost a 3rd one towards Levy as well, but he'll try to go towards the bomb. Has he got the defuse kit? Yes, he has. Will try to stick it. No, he will go for a fake. And Patrick, standing really close by, will be lucky that Harn has his back because now it's 13-11. And Fate is even more in the lead, even more pressuring the economy from the side of ESUBA once more, actually in a terrible situation. Base alarm, I dare to say, then try to play it as Fate might have a 14th round and then try to stop either overtime or a win to come in from your opponents.
That's the main danger, Fate getting ever so close to that overtime, or well, overtime potential, as you say, or even the map win. And of course now the map win for Fate is a little bit more vital than just any map win. It means that they also immediately win this match and that they will move further on in the bracket. A very tempting solution. Oh, blocker, that is a lovely frag there. Levy taken out.
But this happens every time they try to push mid. Every time they play passively on mid, they actually get some frags for themselves. So I'm not really sure why they haven't really caught on to that themselves, as, well, now they lose a player, now they lose their advantage possibly in the close range with those pistols, as, well, Fate has a lot of room to work with. And I'm curious to see if, well, ESUBA will be able to get anything done. A player, however, has really pushed through A, so that is an early warning coming in from the side of ESUBA. But as Neo is just sleeping, it seems, he'll go down and now the flank will come in, but Blocker still holding down mid. If a player will move by, he will grab that frag, and it's a 5-on-3 going towards that B bomb side where only Luco is really standing. One more player more towards the CT area, but I think that Blocker will try to contest it later on.
Maybe that later on contest will actually make a difference, but it doesn't quite look like it. Mar along with Patrick here just get frag after frag, and only Blogus is left. Plant should be coming in now at any time or any moment soon. And with that, Blogus probably going to take the loss here. Even if it's only a deagle from what I can see, it's still something. And it beats nothing.
Well, maybe he can still get an exit frag, maybe take an AWP for himself, as there is a wallbang coming in from Harn. Not sure if it's an actual one or just want to try and mess with Blogus, as he's being pressured by some utility as well. Now going for a little bit of a cheeky push. The safe call has been called as well from Fate. They don't want to give him any weapons. But everyone, of course, still trying to stay a little bit close, hoping to get an exit frag. At least 5 players on this side of Fate will survive. And, well, Harn already being on 12,000. Patrick already almost be on 12,000. They will actually get close to that max amount of money. And that means that ESUBA will be having trouble even if they do manage to win the following round. And I think that's really just showing at how strong the side of Fate is at this moment in time. It seems like the odds are also against an overtime at this moment in time, which seems logical because there's really a good pace going, good momentum for the side of Fate. They just need to get a few more rounds in and they're done with a 2-0.
Yes, but just imagine, right, Fate choking when they need it the most. I would not be surprised.
Never seen something like that before.
Yeah, exactly. It'll just be that standard, oh, come on, type reaction. But we'll see, you know, it all depends on how this round goes for starters. If they can get onto the site convincingly, ooh, that's off to a bad start, though. Luco gets a frag on Blocker, takes out Nikki as well. Oh, well, Earleaf takes out Nikki as well. 2 players less on the Fate side of the whole ordeal. And that might actually be the start of another turnaround by ESUBA.
Patrick is still standing by, could actually go for a little bit of aggression on towards the leaf as the smoke will go away soon. But why would you push that? And I think Patrick is asking it themselves as well. And that means we now have a 5-2 situation in favor of ESUBA. Next frag to come in from a lead very soon. There will be 1 refrag, but what is 1 refrag going to do in still a 1v4 situation? There needs to be an ace clutch coming in from Mars. So I'm guessing, just a little guess, that we will see ESUBA on towards 12 rounds. And still then the gap isn't that great. 2 more rounds for them and they actually equalize the score and might have actually then also destroy the economy of their opponents. Fate now losing a round, will be able to rebuy, and I'm curious to see if they will be able to continue this forward as well. It's going to be ESUBA battling it out, having a very good buy, not losing a lot of players, and being at least happy that something is working for him, and that CT side really needs to come through right now.
It's going to be the decisive, well, deciding factor even, to show who might actually be the best, and also, of course, to know how the rest of this match is going to develop. Smoke is being thrown in now on top of a ramp. Relatively standard. And with that, Fate is playing the delay game. Whilst ESUBA prance around the map a little bit, trying to find an opening here or there, and that's dangerous, and that's exactly why it's dangerous. Han is standing right there, not going to grant you any opening whatsoever.
Very good flash coming in that meant that Levy had to go off that angle. When he went back, of course, Fate was already standing by. They were expecting a little bit of an aggressive play coming in from ESUBA. As now Leaf will be ready to possibly hold down mid for the time being. Meanwhile, Patrick trying to contest towards the A side, and there's actually only one player standing there from ESUBA. Might be a weak spot, and it seems like more players are chiming in from that T side. Utility also falling in. This is the execute they may have been looking for, but there's still so much utility on towards the side of ESUBA. There will be incendiaries, there will be nades as well, as this plant will now be delayed, and there is no more smoke to actually deny it. However, Luco goes down, Mar with a double kill, and Blog is also now trying to rotate in, but it's a 5-on-2. Fate might actually get their map point right here, and that would also mean a match point. Wallbang on towards Mar brings him to a low HP. So far, it seems like they're just doing what they need to do. And ESUBA might actually opt to go for a save because, well, this round is pretty much done for Bloggers with one exit frag to at least ease the pain. But still, you know, Fate will have so much money, and especially if now the AWP goes down, another frag to come in from Patrick as well. They're cleaning house. And why didn't ESUBA just fall back sooner? They could have gone for overtime. And now look at their buy.
Oh, this might be it, to be quite honest. This might be ESUBA getting knocked out now. Fate did get that map and match point just now. You can see it again here. Patrick also cleaning out ESUBA's economy with that double kill. Quite the shame actually there for ESUBA. They can make it a decent enough buy. It's not the end of the world, but you can notice there the MP9, the utility.
Let's get an AWP.
Yep, those are less than ideal factors. It's all going to depend on who gets the opening frag here once again. If that glass cannon, you know, if Bloggers, the glass cannon AWP can actually get the frag, then hey, it might not be that bad, you know. Then it also doesn't matter that he's a glass cannon, but there's a very real chance that Fate will play it out well now, that they will just open up a site with good utility usage, a molly at the right place, maybe a good flash in from a teammate, and that's all they might need to actually pull it off.
Oh, Neo with the opening kill on towards Mar. There's at least something working for the side of ESUBA. Utility will now come in towards that B side. Are there players there? Yes, there are currently two standing by from the side of ESUBA. Spray coming down, another kill for Neo, another one as well. I think this is maybe the turnaround they were looking for. Blocker standing in the fire will now go low. There's another aggressive player coming in. It's Levy getting another kill for himself, making the double. And now we have a 15-13 scoreline. ESUBA bringing it closer, possibly going for that overtime. But it would be heartbreaking if they lose. 16-14 on the first map. That would be Train, where Fate was eventually stronger and they would lose. There's 16-30 or 16-14 again on towards this map. There is money to buy for Fate for this round. For the next round, well, quite possibly so as well. So that is really
not the problem here.
A grim prospect for ESUBA.
It's just going to have to get down to Fate actually getting an opening somewhere, basically, and ESUBA's defense not being strong enough, and that it has consistently, well, been the problem at times for Fate. You know, they try and get on top of the site, and then you've got Neo on the ESUBA side, who actually does a really good job, who makes sure that, you know, they can't actually get further than just past the stairs, for example. Are they now? Ah, yes. I was expecting this boosted position in the first attempt, but now they're going for it again. That's how you do a boost, but oh, Neo here, that's dangerous. He could peek them in, and he should be able to get the frag, but now nade coming in.
Oh my god, no. The sickest nade we've seen in this series.
Neo.
It happens to all of us. But there's a double AWP setup from this side of ESUBA this time around that gives them a little bit less maneuverability. And as we do see Neo going down too hard, this might be the round for Fate to close it out. Utility flying in, but they're still waiting for ESUBA to possibly do something aggressive. Leaf will now spot his position. He's going to be tagged, but also in fire. There will be Nicky going down. A leave with a second, and also a molly kill on towards Mar, leaving only Patrick alive in a 1v3. Where is he? He's still at the staircase now, moving up. He's way too late regarding to the rest of his team falling. It's going to be 40 seconds left on the clock. It is well, doable, but not really. Going to be the last kill coming in from Luco, 15-14, and luckily Fate has the money to at least buy decently. but it should have been a win already, especially with an opening kill.
I wouldn't say, 3v1 is doable. That was pretty clear.
Well, with the smokes and, of course, one player already on site, if he could have had that opening frag and forced his way towards the side, possibly fake a plant. And with the utility on the ESUBA slightly lacking, that would have been actually a possibility.
Maybe, yeah, but it's still, the problem is, I guess, it's kind of a bit of, how do you put it? A bit of a case of fate choking when they, when they need it the most. But maybe it's just going to be a 16-14 again. This is the final round, regardless of how it goes. So if ESUBA wins this, we will be going to overtime. But if Fate wins this, then that is that. Then they will have the map and, of course, the match. But we'll have to see now how that gets played out. ESUBA, very, very possible that they might just force this out, might just get it into an overtime, and before you know it then, it could just become another case of, oh, wait, okay, there is a chance there. Levy gets the initial frag, but Blocker immediately throws it back. It's going to be pushed now. Fate really going for the mid control here, utility being used. In the meantime, though, they are concerned about their flank.
Well, it seems like they're now trying to do something different, at least slow it down a little bit. It was Bloggers being tagged up slightly by the nade when he did fall back, and, well, we now see ESUBA, at least in a slightly more comfortable position than being opening fragged. Live, I believe, spotting some players, will try to fall back and prep his nade for a possible good tag on towards the Fate members. They are moving up. Currently now also trying to spot out where players are, and that is a money nade if there is one. It's going to be Patrick and Blocker both on towards half HP Leaf. Will now throw in a molly as well. It's going to be a molly trade fast. This is really going in favor of ESUBA. Look at the time, 20 seconds left. Good wallbang on towards the Leaf, but it really slows down another player that could actually come in. There's the opening kill. Blocker will get one, but it's going to be Bloggers with the AWP. Go very aggressive. Patrick will get another frag. It is a 2-on-3, but indeed the time is of the essence. 10 seconds left. They will go for the plant. It's Luco with a wallbang. It will be a 2-on-2, and they will lose this round most likely. No! The plant comes in. Neo in a 1v1 versus Hard. And it's only a headshot that could seal the deal right here for Hard. He'll go aggressive. He spots a player. He goes for another possibility. Will it be the 64? He's moving away. He's playing the smart game.
Exactly.
He's playing the time as well. The plant will come in. Neo is going to stick it hard. Needs to really spray through it. And it's going to be Neo with the defuse. And of course, now also overtime. 15-15. And once more, you will see it go down to the wire.
It is the classic play, of course. It is the overtime, because in the Vi.GG Legends series, overtimes even are a given. Fate and ESUBA, these teams surprisingly well matched with each other, surprisingly close to each other, now really coming out into the into the open again. Neo getting that defuse in the nick of time. Han perhaps also not having anticipated that he would stick it like that.
Well, I think he was hoping that at least it would have been a fake first and then going for the stick later, but well, sometimes you have to just go balls to the wall, pedal to the metal, and Neo did just that, going for that defuse, knowing that with a CZ and an AWP, he wouldn't really have the chance to really duel it out against that AK, now playing in a more fallen back position. We do see Fate starting on that T side once more, which, well, so far has been favored on this map, but in overtime, sometimes things do really change around, and we can see some big surprises to come down.
That is the question, right? Is it going to be overtime that is going to be ESUBA's game, or if it is going to be Fate's game? If it is, a Fate's game, then they could open it up well, start with a few rounds in their favor, and then get the entire map and match to them. But if ESUBA play out the overtime well, they could push this to a third map. We can see it here again. You can see the bomb eventually in the nick of time going down, and Han then here, he's looking around, he knows that the player's there, he's just seen him, and then he tries to go for the close angle, but he decides to fall away and fall back, and then Neo going pretty much immediately with a defuse kit in hand for the defuse.
Oh, he also made a scoping noise, I do believe, to really fake out on towards Harnett.
That's a really good
trying
fake.
to go for a fight because, well, if you're not scoping, you're not fighting, and that means that now we will have that 15-15 scoreline. Almost a 30 bomb coming in from Levy, doing a magnificent job for his team, as we do see a little bit of a discrepancy between the kills on towards the side of ESUBA, but so far as a unit, utility-wise, working well. And it seems like on that T side, Fate sometimes struggled a little bit. Both teams doing 5 kills on that CT side, winning 10 on towards the T side. And, well, that would bode well for Fate to at least get that mental game going for him. But then again, they've just thrown away a match point, so why wouldn't it be a round possibly won by ESUBA? Why wouldn't it go to Overpass, of course, the third map in this series? I'm curious to see what Fate will be able to do. Of course, now full economy for both teams. And will there be that double up again for ESUBA?
Yep, the $16,000 overtime, of course, which has the result of basically meaning that both teams have as much money as their hearts could desire, and financial status is the last thing they'd have to worry about. It is purely down to utility usage, skill in general, fragging power, and of course, game sense, all those lovely and incredibly important things. And we will see who reigns supreme in that regard.
Leaf will be standing by, of course, holding down the yellow tarp from this boost position. Not really thinking that Fate will be expecting it, as we haven't seen it before. And that means there's a very big chance that this would be that opening kill. Of course, sought after by both teams. But ESUBA now most likely to get. There will be some players at that ramp. Patrick now moving through. He's just at the right side of that yellow tarp, but the second player is now moving up. I'm expecting it to be Mar, but it will be Nikki to go down, drop the bomb as well. That's a very good fight going in favor of ESUBA. AWP looking for a return frag. Sees that molly not really going out, or it's actually a smoke, excuse me. That means we now have that 5-on-4 situation really going in favor of ESUBA. Nade damage also to come in, as there will be some utility thrown out, but so far nothing really happening for the side of Fate. Looking for the frags everywhere on the map. I believe also a player towards that mid area trying to flank around as well, but so far they're just not really doing anything.
It's going to be Patrick who now flashes himself in, has a look. Molly gets thrown back into him, and he does, even with a nice flick around, get a double kill there. Levy.
There's still a player to his right. I do believe it's going to be a lead with the first frag. He will be traded out by Patrick. Now grabbing the bomb. 20 seconds left. Deals and loads of damage on towards
Tons of
I was
damage.
just really scared by it as he now goes towards 40 HP. It's going to be the 3-on-2 this time around. You would say that Fate could be able to hold on towards this plant, as of course they now have a flanker as well. Mar should get the first and possibly the second as well, as he does try to spot them out. Indeed, there will be light up 1 and 2. Usually go for the player that is furthest away, because that's the harder one, but still he makes it work. 16-15 Fate now in the lead in this overtime. It seems like ESUBA is struggling to hold off against that aggression despite having that opening kill. Was Patrick just moving through and they really didn't have an angle for this, and I'm not really sure why Lucky didn't peek any earlier. As of course that would have really granted him a better chance of winning that fight.
Yeah, Fate, they did start it off well now this overtime. That might be setting the tone now for the rest of this one. It all depends on how they will manage it so far. I think
they must have heard that Levy has moved through the molly, but so far it seems like Fate is just waiting and checking if there's also elder aggression coming down. Blocker losing this fight, you would say, because Levy's still standing there, but there's just a little bit in the Mexican standoff. Levy still alive, Blocker also now moving away. The mid pressure being gained by the side of ESUBA, also having a chance for a flank later on towards the A side. That is something we haven't really seen come out from this CT side, which could really favor them, just like the boost we saw before where Nikki fell in the previous round. Lucky's now also trying to clear the way for Levy to at least have some more maneuverability. It's the same boost working again, but then on towards a different player. Now Patrick falling, and Patrick has been instrumental in the previous round as well. 5-on-4, once more the player lead for the side of ESUBA as the wallbangs are coming in from hard, and he will actually get the kill on towards Luco. There's Luco Maluco, as we do see a 4-4. Now the utility will chime in, still the WP for the long-range fighting capabilities, but a flank from Levy. He's slowly moving as well. He's gone down the ladder, but Mar, he's now on towards the B side. He will see a player go towards CT, but will he be in time to actually do anything for his team? As of course now that flank will be there. Levy now spotting a player, will get down. One, it's going to be Blocker falling, but Levy losing out on this ammo. They're trying to move all the way across towards the B side, but look at the time, 20 seconds. Can they actually make it? As Mar will now get one. Will he get the second as well? No, that's the player actually going across, and he's actually going to stop the plant from going on. Mar has already fallen. Bloggers now takes down Nikki, so 1v2 for Harn, and indeed there will be no time. Especially as Bloggers is just trying to hide, but actually this will be the plan. This actually will be the 1v1. There will be a molly, but he will fall. It is going to be a 16-16 scoreline. ESUBA bringing it back But this round was really, really scary and really, really close.
It's a good thing that they don't have to worry about the economy. Obviously, otherwise, well, both teams would have some serious issues to deal with right now. ESUBA do get that second round incredibly hard fought, but Fate, they had a good chance there. It's just that they maybe shouldn't have banked on that rotation there. They maybe should have just committed to, you know, this A bomb site. And you can see it as well. There were some certainly some good opportunities, but sadly they didn't commit to it and they just decided to go for that rotation, which was, in my opinion, too late and too little.
But the same boost working twice in a row so far for ESUBA, you would say they wouldn't go for it a third time, as Leffy once more is at that ladder. Seems to be undefended this time around by Fate, trying to go a little bit more aggressive towards the ace, but as Leffy misses his shot, he wants to fall back. Throws out his incendiary, there's a little bit of delay gun and blocker trying to at least pre-fire him. And also throws out that nade. Patrick once more going on the aggressive, will actually try to still contest around his A side, but he's not really committing. And I think that is really the case for the whole side of Fate. Now trying to go back towards B, but still a little bit spread out across the map, especially with the bomb. Also just a little bit in between those sides as well. Patrick takes out a leaf, trying to play that same angle as he did before. And well, now ESUBA, you're becoming a little bit more predictable. And you see Fate in this round at least taking advantage.
Question is if their advantage taking will effectively get them on top of the site. They've got on the first frag, which you could say is the stepping stone that they need to win the round. But let's see how the rest of it goes. Bloggers here, severely tagged. He peeks in, he gets one frag on Ma. But now it's a 4v4. Bloggers especially, he's going to keep contesting this. And oh, no, Bloggers! That's a critical shot. You should not have missed that.
There's another hero play. Leffy's moving in, gets one, but doesn't get the spray on towards the bomb plant. And the bomb goes down. It's a 3-on-2. And now there are two very low players on the side of both ESUBA and Fate. But still, Fate is in the favorable position, especially as Hard gets yet another frag, a triple kill for himself in towards his round. Neo will be challenged, will get one, and will maybe long-arm this defuse, but the problem is, the moment he does, there will still be some players moving in, and they will not see the wires. Incendiary also on towards the bomb, and this will seal the deal. The round goes in favor of Fate. They will win this half of overtime with a 17-16 score. It took their sweet time. Eventually they managed to bounce back, and well, it was a crazy round with some crazy plays to come in, and I would have expected Bloggers to possibly get another kill. And then if Leffy would have had that same hero play, he would have possibly had a double kill because there wouldn't have been another player holding it off.
Yeah, but how chaotic was that engagement right there? You know,
not at all.
There was, you know, you had the plant going on, you had the smoke, then you had the players coming through, caught with utility in their hands, frags flying to and fro all around. But eventually it was, well, Fate that got the upper hand of it. That did actually end out this first half of this first overtime with the round advantage, so to speak.
I believe so hard, but he's done what everyone does when there's two players shoot in between them, trying to get the most out of the situation. Then a very good play from Leffy, very good flash, but unfortunately not connecting on towards the planter. If he would have had that frag, it would have sealed the round. Probably ESUBA winning it with, well, possibly some convincing numbers, but now they are a round in behind of Fate, of course, who are now starting again on that CT side. The CT side unfavored, but statistically speaking, just looking at how the regular time went, they'll be able to get one round, and ESUBA should be able to get 2 rounds, but well, it all depends on the aggression we also now see coming out from Fate, trying to get mid control, and also Patrick with the opening kill. His block is going down, Neo also going low, and Leffy being taken down in the meantime. It's going to be Patrick with yet another good shot, but the problem is he won't hit it. Pressure will go towards that B side. It's going to be a leave together with Neo and Luco as well, trying to move in. But still, this 5-on-3 situation should really benefit the side of Fate, using their utility, but not really knowing that the players will go towards that A side. But Harn at the yellow tarp, holding an angle, and he will be waiting. Will he get the flick? He will now see a player will get no tag at all. Neo was already low from a long time ago, and still this means we're on a 5-on-3. Patrick, of course, on 4 HP himself, as the incendiaries and other utility will be used by Fate to slow down their opponents. Very good aggressive peek from Hard. Makes it into a 5-on-2. And what can ESUBA do at this moment in time? They're going to go aggressive, but they lose another player. Only Luco alive, and he will be taken down by Harn as well. A double kill for one of the two hoppers for the side of Fate. The other one, Patrick, also had 2 kills. And we do sit at 18-16 score. A match point for Fate. And ESUBA just really destroyed. They're just being outpeaked time and time again. And it seems like, so far, that CT side is truly working for the more favorite team. The number 49 in the world, possibly to get a few more places after this tournament.
This might actually be what Fate needs to start this off, to be fair. It could be that how they played out now, especially the overtime aggressiveness that they've been showing, that could really help them out and really win them the rounds. It's all going to come down to the wire now. If Horn here, for example, gets that first frag, or if Neo does turn it around himself, it all depends, you know. I don't dare say how this one's going to go just yet. There
already some utility being used by ESUBA, and that doesn't really help them too much because they haven't really done too much.
Well, it hasn't opened anything up yet.
No, there's not really any movement they've gained, as Leaf is trying to contest at B side, but of course there's the one player behind this pillar, and will of course be Patrick with the AWP doing a great job so far in this overtime. But now he will be forced out. That means he has to move. Maybe walk in towards the aim of the players, but so far they're not really playing the angle. Now they know where the ESUBA players are, and Patrick on the receiving end from utility, but with the AWP, he shouldn't be too worried because one shot could seal the deal. Harn now knowing that there is pressure towards the B side, that he means, or at least he can go more aggressive. Patrick goes down. There has been some damage being dealt. There was a lag shot on towards a Leaf, but Neo also with a frag on towards Mars. Going to be Nicky, the first one to return for Fate. The utility flies in. One more to come. Nicky indeed will. And look at this cutoff with the incendiary as well. They now go back towards the A side, and Harn, what can you do with your AWP? Can you hold them off?
Oh,
because he still has to play from a very annoying angle behind the side, having not upgraded his pistol, but now getting a kill, getting another as well. 15 seconds as well, and it's going to be the match for Fate. A 2-0 with 19-16. He finishing things off very closely against their opponents on the side of ESUBA, and I was so believing that ESUBA could actually win a map right here, and they seem so strong, and this wildcard so far is looking really, really well.
It actually really did, to be honest. Like, ESUBA there, they had a solid chance, but for a moment, it was eventually there turned around. It was the AWP that was so strong on the side that actually did get Fate the match there. Well done by them. Deserved win, I'd say, and that, of course, also makes it the second map that they've won, and as a result, also immediately, you know, the entire match.
Well, I'm amazed by the side of ESUBA so far. I'm not counting them out in their match tomorrow against Honoris, the losing end of course Team Secret. And well, Fate, having possibly learned some things in this official, will have to also fight against Team Secret. And I'm worried for them, because they are a strong team, but against an unranked team like ESUBA, struggling this much, first winning 16-14 and then eventually winning 19-16, it's a little bit iffy.
Yes, it could go quite a lot of ways, to be fair, but I feel like, once again, you know, you have to reiterate, there's a lot of uncertainty here. Matches have been going all sorts of ways. We've seen insane overtimes. We've seen that a lot of teams are really, you know, very capable and able to do a lot of things that we might not even see coming. So, quite honestly, I mean, even if we're going to see, you know, Fate fighting up against Team Secret, I still think that really, though, what they could bring to the table might be something really spectacular. I think, especially also a team like Fate with, well, the amount of map history that they have and you know, how good they play on certain maps, at least it seems at times, that maybe they could have a certain edge over Team Secret, but it will depend. It's something that I'm not too certain about, and something that I'll have to take a good look at in the break as well and decide for myself who I'm maybe also going to be betting on.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Secret right now because they just seem a little bit stronger, and of course they had to fight against the Nords, who seem to be a very strong team as well. Fate, however, will now be a little bit of an oddball. They have a very good ranking. They have a very good shot at possibly winning it, but I think they'll be a little bit tired and a little bit worn out by this one.